What's going on, guys and girls? We're here playing some more Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to complete the trophy or achievement Gnomore. I always want to say Gnomore, but the G is silent. The details say find all the hidden garden gnomes. So these are hidden all over the place in multiplayer maps and in your backyard battleground. We're going to find the ones in the backyard battleground first, so I recommend you play through the stories first. So play through all the stories, get all those finished so that you can collect these. So that is the first one. It is found in the Crazy Dave Bot's garage, and what we're going to do now is we're going to head down here. Now this part unlocks once you get near the end of the story, so unless you've got to near the end of the story you can't get down here. So we're going to hit this button over here, so you just shoot at this button and that will pop up the garden gnome right there. So that is that one, and from here what we're going to do is we're going to head into the back area so that we can actually do the story ones. So these are the parts where they unlock the portals once you've completed certain parts of the story. So you won't be able to do these unless you have gotten so far through the story. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go into the rose one first. I believe that's the first one we're going to go into, or are we going to go into the orange one first? The orange one is the first one we're going to go into. So you just go through this portal. This is part of the story, obviously, as I've said before, and we have to get into here so we can get this first gnome, which is just sitting straight in front of us inside that area. So now what we're going to do is we're going to head back out the portal and go into the next one. So the next one we're going to go into is the corn area. So once you just go through that portal, you will end up in this area. So what we're going to do is we just want to head towards the chest that unlocks once you've completed all of the corn missions, and then we're just going to get the gnome just around the corner here. So it's just at the back of behind the shed. So once we're going to do that one, we're going to go back out of the portal and we're going to head into the rose one. Now obviously, as you saw before, some of these use buttons, so some of these are actually hidden, so you actually have to find a button to unlock it, as we did in the one in the area underneath the basement. This is another button one, so you have to shoot this button over here and that will show the gnome just under there. So we're just going to have to get into that area so we can grab it. And that is that one there. So that is all of the plant story ones completed. And so what we're going to do from here is we're going to head out of the plant area and we're going to head towards the soccer field. So if you just head out the right hand side over here, you can head towards this area, and there is a giant soccer field. Well, not a giant soccer field. There's a soccer field that you can, I don't know if you can actually play on it, but seems like you almost could. And what we're going to do is we want to get over to this point, and there is a gnome at the top of the scoreboard right there in between the zombie and the plant balloons. And the reason we are using a pea shooter is because of the fact he's got the hyper active boost, and that will help us get up some of these places because this one is really high and you need it to jump up. So we're going to use the hyper boost so we can grab that gnome right there. From here what we're going to do is we're going to head down this way and you'll end up at the docks, and there is a little grate with like a sewer exit, and we're just going to get the gnome that is sitting behind the grate once we get past this plant. Get out of the way. So there we go, we're going to get that gnome right there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to head towards the sewers. So we're going to head in towards the center area of the backyard battleground. I'm trying to avoid these big guys that are chasing me around, so I'm just going to try and sneak past and get to the center area of the backyard battleground so we can get into the sewers, the main sewers part. And then what we're going to do, so just this way, just head this way, and as you can see there's an entrance so you can get into the sewers. So we're just going to head down here so we can get to the next two gnomes. So just down here, and you just turn to the right and just head all the way down here. It's quite a far distance to go to. I'm not going to be like skipping through this. The reason why is because I want to make sure that you guys have an exact knowledge of where all these spots are, because sometimes you might be like, hey, how did you get there? Where the heck are you? So I really wanted to make sure that. So if you wanted to just fast forward through these bits, you know exactly where the sewer is, you can just do that if you want to, but I'm just going to be going through it like this, just giving you as much information as I can. So just head down this way towards the end that has the train, like the red lights and stuff like that. And once you get almost to the end, there is this grate over here. It's kind of exit area that you can't go through, and there is the gnome. And so what we're going to do now is we're actually going to respawn. So we're just going to use the respawn tool so that we can change to the orange, so we can get the other garden gnomes. So this one you can either get using the orange, or you can get it using the foot soldier. I don't know if there's any other ones you could maybe use the super brains or something like that. But this one is quite annoying to get. I was failing a lot trying to get across there, because it would just, the orange would spin up and try and shoot across, but then he'd crash into the wall instead of getting on top of it, so kind of thing. So just be aware of that it can be quite difficult. So now we're doing the respawn thing again, and this time we're going to swap over to the zombie side. I'm going to be using super brains because he is so much fun, and because he is useful because he's got the high jump, and then he's also got the kick, the flying kick. So the first one we're going to do is very simple and easy to get. It's just over here. Very simple. He's just sitting here in the grave stone, in the little grave, in the coffin, and we're just going to get that right there. And then we're just going to head back to the back area of the zombie area so we can go into the story mission ones. So remember, you have to complete the story missions for the zombie to get all of these. So once you've unlocked certain parts, you can actually find these. So until you've unlocked these portals, then you can't actually find all of these gnomes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the Super Brains one first. So here we are in this ice cave kind of set place, and what we're going to do is we're just going to head to the back area here. So we're just going to jump up here, and there is a garden gnome just sitting at the back here, all lonely, just hiding in the back, and we're going to collect him and move on to the next one. So from here, we're just going to head back out of the portal. So there's kind of like only one in each of the portals. So once you've found it, you don't have to worry about finding another one. So then what we're going to do is we're going to head into this one right here. This is the imp one. This one's also super easy to find. He's just on the right hand side once you enter the portal, on the right hand side of Steve, and we're just going to collect that right there and then head out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to head to the pirate one. I'm also going to be putting timestamps in the description so you guys can skip to ones that you need. There's no way of really finding out which ones you're missing, which one you're exactly missing. So the timestamps are just going to help you basically look through the video a bit quicker if you want to. So that was that one there. It's just found in the bedroom, in the bookshelf right there, in the pirate area. So now what we're going to do is we're going to head to the very last portal, which is like the final area for the zombie story missions. So just head back through here and head past the scoreboard and the quest board, and then head past the graveyard ops area and just head into the portal that's just opened over here. So just jump in here if it's unlocked for you. If it's not unlocked for you, then you have to continue playing the story. And there is the garden gnome in the back. So just what we're going to do is we're going to jump up, use the super kick to get over to here, and then just collect this guy right here. Just get close enough, hopefully not fall in the lava. And there we go. That is all of the area ones in the backyard battleground. So now what we have to do is we have to go into the multiplayer maps to find the rest of them. So you can find these in multiplayer, or what you can do is you can go to this and do like a solo game, and then so you don't have to worry about people killing you and all that sort of stuff, and you can easily find them very, very quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into a private play, and then what we're going to do is we're first going to go to a team vanquish, and we're going to go to Zen Garden. We're going to make it easy, go to team setup, and we're going to turn everyone off. So we're going to turn both teams off so we don't have to be annoyed by players playing around, so AI characters. And then we're going to turn on low gravity and speed boost craziness. These don't have to be put on, but it just helps you get around the maps faster and just helps you get up to higher spots without having to worry about it too much. So then we just have to activate the portal and go through the portal, and we're going to go into Zen Peak. So this is the first one we're going to go to, and we're going to be playing as a plant, so just make sure you swap to the plant. You don't really have to swap to the plant, but I'm just going to be doing it because this the pea shooter is just a bit faster to run around. So what we're going to do is we are going to head this way. So I just showed you we are in the center of the map. Very easy spot to figure out where you are if you're used to the maps. And then what we're going to do is just head to this way, and you are going to jump up this corner area, and you're just going to find the gnome sitting right there. Now from here, what we're going to do is we want to head over to the bridges. So obviously there are bridges at this side, so just head around the edge of the map and you'll find these bridges. Now we're not going to go down this waterfall, we're actually going to jump off the second one. So here's the second bridge, and the reason you can tell the difference is because this one only has one waterfall coming off of this river instead of two waterfalls. And we're just going to drop down here and swing in, and you'll find the secret little area with the garden gnome. So there are only 2 in each of these maps, and then some of the bigger maps there are about 6, I believe. So what we're going to do is we're going to head to Bony Island next, and we're going to set it up the same as we had before, and we're going to be spawning in this area. So this is where I spawned, right next to one of them, and so that is the volcano right there, and then we're in the jungle area, and there is the little village area. So you just want to head to this side, so it is around the side edge of the map. So if you just keep going around the edge of the map, you'll eventually find this part, and where there's a little waterfall and the bony fence. And what we're going to do is there is a button up here that we can shoot, and that will bring up the garden gnome. So once we've collected that, I'm just going to shoot the button a couple of times so you guys can see exactly where it is. And now what we're going to do is we're going to head to the opposite side of the map. So we're just going to head straight through the middle of the volcano, past these giant eggs, and we're going to end up on the kind of river side, the lake side. And what we're going to do is we're just going to head down through this bony archway. And there's the volcano stuff over here, so you can just get a good look of exactly where we are. There's the lake, or the river, or whatever it is, and we're just going to head down this cliff, and there is a little garden gnome just hiding in the corner right there. So that is the 2 in Bony Island, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to Sandy Sands. Very descriptive name. And so in this one, what we're going to do is I'm just going to start in the center areas, just because it's probably the most likely place that you would have noticed. So it's very easy to know exactly where it is. So I'm just giving you a bit of a look around to show you exactly where I am. And then what we're going to do is we're going to head down into the little river area and head towards the left hand side from where I was facing. So we're going to just head down here, head down the river until you hit the big river, like the Nile area. And what we're going to do is we're going to shoot this button up there, and that is going to bring a little boat that comes around the corner here with the gnome on it. So I'm just going to show you that button again, and then give you a bit of a spin around to show you exactly where I am in relation to the rest of the map. And then we're just going to collect it when it arrives. So here it is, taking a little while to get here, and then just try and not fall off either. So I end up falling off and dying, but I got the gnome anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So now that we're back here where I just collected that last gnome, we're going to head to the next one. So if you just head back up the river, so just head straight across to the other side of the map, vertically, like literally just the other side of the map, just head straight as far as you can. And then once you get to the other side of the map, you'll see this little archway, doorway there with a pot on top of it. Shoot the pot, and there is a gnome inside of it. So some of these are quite hard to actually find. It took me a long time to get some. Some of them even I had to look them up because I couldn't actually find them all. So now that we've found that one, that is all of the ones in the Sandy Sands map. So we're going to head over to the Coliseum. So once we're in the Coliseum, it depends where you spawn, which spawn point you end up at. So this is where I started. So I'm just going to show you, this is the little garden area. There is the statue over here, the water heart. And I'm just going to head into the Coliseum just to give you a bit of a visual of exactly where I am. So this is what it looks like from this door entrance. So as soon as you go through this door entrance, you can find your way across here. And you just want to look at that statue right there. You want to head straight past that statue and down these steps area here, even though there's not really many steps, and you can see that kind of rock shape, and there is a garden gnome just sitting in here. Now apparently you need to have either the pea shooter or the imp to be able to get that one, because the other characters are just too big and they can't get close enough to it. And then what we're going to do, because as you can see we've got the low gravity on, that's just going to help us, and the speed boost get across this area. And we're just heading straight across to the other side of the map and just drop down here. Now you can just drop off the front part of that face and then turn around and shoot the button and die, but I'm going to try and do it without dying. I did end up dying a couple of times just because low gravity kind of makes it a little bit harder in this map. So what we're going to do is we're just going to just scooch around the corner here and try and shoot that button as easy as we can. And once you've got that button, we're just going to jump over to this gnome just right here, and we're going to collect it. So that is how you get the 2 in this area. I'm just going to do a quick spin around as well, just to show you exactly where I am on this map, just to give you a bit of a reference. There are these statues over here, the kind of Cupid looking ones, and then there's a beach across the waterway. So now what we're going to do is we're going to head to Lunar Landing. There are another 2 gnomes in this one. So we're up to 23 gnomes out of 54. There are a total of 54 gnomes in this game. So what we're going to do is we're going to look around. This is where I spawned. So I'm spawned near the golfing section. And we're just going to head past these giant rockets in area. So I'm just trying to give you as much landmarks as possible. And we're just going to head all the way over to the other side of the map. So just head past the Saturn rocket looking one, and you'll find this kind of area with the hoses going everywhere, the big tubes, and there is a drill. Just if I turn around, there's a drill right here. That's where the gnome is. It's just sitting in the cockpit. It's the one who's dug its way out of here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get close enough so that we can collect it. And that is going to be that one right there. So there it is, sitting in there. And what we're going to do now is we're going to head to the big building. So head inside the building just as fast as you can, and just go through this. If you go through this door, you'll find your way through towards the kind of library area. So that's where we want to be. So in the middle of the building, there's this kind of library. So I'm just going to do a quick spin around just to give you a bit of reference, to show you exactly where I am. And then I'm going to head over to this way, and there in this bookshelf over here, right near the edge, there is a button right there. And then what we're going to do is that's going to open this door so that we can get to the gnome that is just chilling right there. So those are the 2 that are in this map. So now what we're going to do is we're going to head to the next map. The next map we're going to be doing is a Time Park. So obviously this is still playing Team Vanquish, as you can see in the top left hand corner. We are now at 25 out of 54, and so we're going to be starting in the center area. Now this one has got a lot of portals, so it can be a little bit confusing. The 2 ones are going to be in the Egypt one and the Rome one. So we're just going to go into the Rome one first, because this one is a bit harder to find, because you have to shoot a button that is hiding behind some vines. So once you go through that thing right there, you can now get this gnome right there, and then we're just going to head into Egypt. So we're just going to head through this portal over here, and now what we're going to do is there is the portal that you come through on the main one, and we're just going to grab the one that is just behind this grate and hiding in the grass in the water. So there we go, and that is that one. So I'm just going to give you a quick spin around to show you exactly where that is in the Egypt one. And now what we're going to do is we're going to head to Zen Peak factory. This is still in Team Vanquish, and we're going to now get these 2. Now this took me about 2 hours to do. So once I knew exactly where all of these gnomes were, it took me about 2 hours to find it. So that's going to give you a bit of a time reference. You know, jumping in and out of maps takes quite a while. So as you can see, what we're going to do is we're just going to drop down here and then go over here and head towards this little area, and there is a gnome just hiding behind those things, the grates or whatever you want to call them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to head to this open area. So this is the very edge of the map over here, and there is a button all the way over there. So we're just going to shoot that. Make sure it turns blue. As soon as it turns blue, you know you've hit it. If it doesn't turn blue, then you have to shoot it again. And then that's going to bring the gnome on the balloon just there. And so now what we're going to do is I'm going to do a quick spin around so you can see exactly where I am. So as you can see, there is the Zen Peak factory, and this is where they're making the giant robot zombie thing. So that is exactly where we are. Now what we're going to do is we're going to head to Frosty Creek. So this one is got 2 in here as well, and this is where I spawned in the map. So this is near where we want to be. So what we're going to do is we're just going to head to the right hand side of me right here, and once we get over to here, you'll find a little river. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit another button on this bridge. So we're going to hit this button over here, and that is going to bring the gnome on a log just through there. It takes quite a while, so while it's doing that, I'm just going to give it a spin around to show you exactly where I am. So I'm just near the log factory kind of area. So as you can see, that is where we are, and we're going to just collect this, and hopefully you guys don't fall in the water. And now that we've done that one, we are going to get the second one in this map, and you just head around here. This one's very close to the other one, and we're just going to show you here. So this is the wood mill. So there we go, the wood sawmill, and we're going to just jump up here, and with the low gravity it's very easy. If you didn't have the low gravity turned on, just pressing R1 when you're a pea shooter makes it a bit easier, and it's just sitting in this truck right here in the freezer, in the little chiller bin. So now what we're going to do is we're going to head to Seeds of Time. Now this one you have to change to Gardens and Graveyards. So this is one of the bigger maps, and there are going to be 6 gnomes in this one. So you have to choose Gardens and Graveyards to access this map, and what we're going to do is we're going to play as the zombie because we want to be actually capturing the points so we can go into the next area and find more and more of these gnomes. So the first one is just going to be on the right hand side right here in this little kind of gift shop area, and it's just in the shelf right here. There's a gnome right there and you can collect it very easily. So now what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the capture zone. I do have other people on my team, but I don't have any plants playing in this one, so it just makes it a bit quicker so you can go to the next one. But if you want to just have as much time as you need to do it, what you can do is you can just turn off these characters, so your team, and then it just makes it a bit easier so you don't have to worry about rushing from next point to next point without because these guys will end up capturing the area for you, and if you haven't found the gnome yet, then you might have to restart the game. So it depends on how you want to do it, if you want these guys on your team to make it quicker, or if you just want to have as much time as you want to find these, then I'll just turn them off. So now we are at this part here, so what we're going to do is we're just going to head into this little area, another little gift shop area, and we're just going to collect that gnome right there. So that's after collecting 2 of the capture points, and then we've got 2 gnomes. And so what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the next capture point, and we're just going to drop down here so that we can capture it. And once you have captured it, I'm just going to use editing to speed through that. We're going to head through this next portal, and you want to stick to the left hand side. So I'm just going to go through the left hand portal. You can go through the middle portal if you want to, but the left hand portal just gets you a bit closer and just helps you follow these instructions a bit quicker. And once you get to near this roller coaster, as you can see, there's the dragon roller coaster. There is a little archway, the doorway, and there is a button above it. And so we're just going to shoot that button, and there is going to be a little cloud that's going to come down and give us this gnome. So you just want to be careful you don't fall off. If you do fall off, it doesn't matter. You can just do it again if you didn't collect the gnome, but hopefully you didn't fall off, and it just makes it a bit easier. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go and capture the next capture point. So we're just going to go and stand on here. So as you can see, these guys are helping me out, getting it a bit quicker. And what we're going to do is we're going to head through the next portal. And once we get through this portal, I believe there are going to be 2 more in this section. Yep, my brain was working. This is the section. There's 2 more gnomes in here. So what we're going to do is you just head up the right hand side area here, and there is this little sign and a little waterfall. And what we're going to do is shoot the button behind the waterfall, and there is a gnome that will show up right there in this gift shop. So we're just going to collect that one there. And from here, the next one is very, very close. You just head towards the capture point a little bit, and there is a gnome sitting up there behind this tree area, and you can just jump up here with the low gravity and super brains. You can easily get to that very, very easily. Now there is one more in this map. Now you actually have to swap over to a plant from this point. So what we're going to do is we are just going to swap over to a plant, just give you a little spin to show you exactly where we were. And then we're going to swap over to the other team, and we're going to go to a pea shooter. And we're going to just choose the plasma pea because that's the one I was using. And now what we're going to do is we are going to jump over into one of these cannons. So what you want to do is you just want to jump into this cannon over here. It's the best one to do because it gets you a lot closer. And now what you can try and do is get inside that main part. But because we've got low gravity and we've also got the speed boost from being a pea shooter, you just want to jump over the wall and then head into the back area over here. So this is on the left hand side of the castle, and you just want to get that gnome there. And you can't do this as a zombie, so you have to be a plant to reach this point because it's out of bounds for the zombies. Now we're heading to the Great White North, and this is also in Gardens and Graveyards. So we're also going to be a zombie for this one. You can be a zombie for the entire match on this one. You don't have to switch between being a planted or a zombie. So what we're going to do is we just want to head to the capture point as fast as we can because we don't need anything from the first section. So we're just going to get to the capture point and capture it. So once we get over here, we are just going to capture that very quickly, and some of the other guys are just going to end up showing up as well and helping me out. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to head up this way. So head up on the right hand side, just past this little cottage over here, and head up the right hand side and just head past these snowmen. So there's a couple of snowmen just here, and what you want to do is there is another snowman just hiding in the corner, and you're just going to destroy him, and you will find the gnome just sitting right there. So from here, what we're going to do is going to head to the next capture point, and we're going to capture that so that we can head and get to the next one. So we're just going to grab this capture point, and once that is done, we can head to the next one. So we're just going to head towards the next capture point, and we're going to stick to the right hand side. So we're just going to head up this way over here, and then you just want to head over this way into the little ice cave little area. So as you can see, there's this little ice cave with the icicles coming down, and we're just going to destroy this wall. So once you've destroyed this wall, it will open up a secret area where you can find a gnome. So there we go, with all this gold sitting around him. So once we go out of here, we're just going to head to the next capture point, and if I just turn around, you can actually see it's a giant yeti. The cave looks like a giant yeti, so what we're going to do, we're just going to capture this point. These guys have helped me out, and so it's just made it a bit quicker. Now remember, they can actually help you, but then later on, I'm actually going to die a couple of times, so I actually had to restart the game, restart this game and get through it. So you just have to be wary of that, so it can actually hinder you if you have to, start over because you didn't get the gnomes in time. So this one right here is just under the bridge, on top of the thing. You can't actually punch it open. I was actually going to give that a go. So then I just use my Super Brain's power, like Kamehameha power, and then we're going to grab that gnome, and then just keep heading down the little frozen river until you get to the lake. Jump onto this little island and shoot the button over there, and the gnome will just pop out of the water right there on a little rubber ducky. So now what we're going to do is we're going to head back to the next capture zone. So these guys, I believe, have already captured it for me. So we're just going to head past it. And this is when I actually had to restart and do another one because I ended up dying a couple of times. So now I actually have no teammates on my team. I just turned them off because I just needed that little security just so I could do the videos a bit easier. I have more time to make these good bits of gameplay. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to drop down this area right here, and you want to land next to this one. If you land on the bit above it, you will die. So you just have to make sure you land here, and you will get this gnome right there. Now unfortunately for this one, you actually have to die to get out of here. I don't know a way back up. So we're just going to fall off the cliff again so that we can respawn, or you could just set a respawn, go pause and go to respawn, but we just wanted to jump off the cliff. And then what we're going to do is we're going to head down the right hand side. So that one was on the left hand side, now we just head down the right hand side, and once you get over to here, you will see this button all the way over there. So you're just going to shoot that button, and that is going to bring the gnome. It's going to fall onto this little area here. So we're just going to jump on top of that, just in front of the cave, and we're going to collect that gnome. And so that is now all of the gnomes in the Great White North map. So you don't have to worry about collecting the next base. You can just go to the Moonbase map. So this is in Herbal Assault. This is the only game mode that you can acquire these ones. So you have to get to this map on Herbal Assault, and you have to be as a plant. So I'm going to be using the pea shooter again, and there is a button just as you spawn right there on the right hand side, and we are going to see a comet come down, and that is going to crash into this area here, and that is going to be the gnome. So that button activates that comet. Now what we're going to do is we're going to head to the capture point, and we're going to capture that. So we are at 45 out of 54, so we're getting pretty close to all of them. I believe there's only one more map after this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to collect this thing right there, and once we've collected the capture point, we're just going to head into the Welcome to the Moon, a little area, so this into this building, and head to the left hand side, and there is a button right there that you have to shoot, and once you've shot that button, the gnome will just pop out and end up on the top of all this rubbish or dirty laundry. I think it's dirty laundry, or maybe it's rubbish, I don't know. And so now that we've collected that one, we're going to head to the next one. So just head to the next capture point so that you can get to the next gnome. So we're just going to jump over here with the low gravity and stuff. It makes it a lot easier. Some of these parts already have low gravity if you're just doing it in a normal way, but you can also have the low gravity in some of the other areas if you have that modification turned on. So now we're just going to head out towards this area. So head on to the right hand side, and there is this big machine with these crazy hands coming off it. And we're going to just drop down this little cliff area, and there is the gnome. So I'm just going to give you a look at this big machine with the hands. So it's kind of like a big digger kind of thing. And then we're just going to head to the next capture point from here. So that is the only one in that section. And so once we get to the capture point, we can go to the next section. So this is where it starts taking quite a while to do. Get all these gnomes when you have to go in and out of all of the multiplayer maps, and then you also have to capture all these zones in these like Herbal Assault and Gardens and Graveyards. So this is where we are going to jump down this little thing. So once we jump down here, you'll be right in front of the massive drill. So what we want to do is we just want to head over to the massive drill, and once you get over here, you just jump onto this platform over here. You can actually just drop down on the left hand side, and there is a secret little cave down here with the glowing crystals. So you just want to make sure you find the glowing crystals and look down, and then just drop down here. And then there is a button that you have to hit, so a secret bit inside the secret bit. And once you go through here, you will find the gold like sitting around here, so you know the gnome is close, and there he is with his big pile of gold behind him. So now we've collected that garden gnome, we are going to head through this portal. This takes us back to the top area, so back to the main sort of area. You can't access it unless you go through the way that we went through. I was like thinking, mate, there's a portal here, so maybe there's a portal on the other side, but there isn't. So from here, we just head past the capture point, and there is this little chomping area with these crystals, and then you just want to grab that right there. So it's some sort of power plant sort of thing. So what we're going to do is we are going to just go back to the capture point, make sure we capture it so that we can get to the next section, next area. So now that we've captured that capture point, I actually got a little confused. Like, I put the controller down waiting for it to be captured, and I was like, wait, which way is which way? You just want to head towards the next capture point, and this is the area where it goes back outside, and this is normally in zero gravity anyway, but with the speed boost, I believe this is going to help us get the next little gnome. I don't know if you can get it without the speed boost. The speed boost just helps so much. So what we're going to do is we are going to just jump up here. So this is the capture point, and we're just going to go past it and go up onto this thing on top of these tubes, and I'm going to go all the way back a little bit. Now this is just the reason I go like this way, because it's just a bit easier to get here, and the gnome is up over there on that little ridge. So we're just going to jump, use our speed boost, and get over here. So you just really want to make sure that you get that right, because it can be quite annoying. It took me like 5 or 6 times to actually try and get that right. So now that was all of the ones in that map, and we're going to head to Zomburbia. This is also in Herbal Assault, and this is going to have the last 6 gnomes, the last 6 garden gnomes. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over this way, and we are going to get this one just from the start point. Remember, you've got to be a plant to do this one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to head this way. You can just break through this wall if you want to, but instead I'm just going to go down this way down here. We do have to wait until it unlocks for us, and then we're just going to head to the next capture point. I don't know what was shooting at me right there, but anyway, we're just going to keep going because there's no other characters on this map. And once we've captured this point, we're just going to head towards the next capture point. But if you just head down this street right here, you will end up right in front of this house with the creepy eyes in front of it and the orange kind of paint job. So what we're going to do is behind this right here, there is a button that you have to press. So just shoot away the fence and it destroys, and then we can get this gnome right here. So now that we've got that one, we are going to head to the capture point. So we're just going to go around, get to the capture point. Low gravity helps out so much. And we're just going to sit here until we've captured it, and then head to the next area. So the next one is very close to the capture point. So what we're going to do is we're going to head into the Zom Park and just head along the left hand side down here and head past the creepy little swans, and then just jump up past the fish tank. So there's a little fish tank over here. There's also some giant scorpions, and then just on the left hand side of it there is a cage that's been broken open, and there is a gnome sitting in the corner right here. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to head towards the capture point, and we're just going to go past it. So the next one is just on the other side of this capture point. So we're just going to go straight across here, and you'll end up at the little dock area, and just on the left-hand side of me. So we're just going to head down here. I don't know why I was going so slow just there. On the left-hand side, there's a little grate down here. So if you just jump over across, and you will find the gnome just down there. Now, hopefully you don't die. I didn't jump very well just across here, so I ended up dying. And so now what I have to do is I have to respawn, but we're just going to go to the capture point. So I've now captured that capture point, and there is the docks and everything. So that's where I just died. And we're just going to head up this way towards the zoo area. I believe this is what it's called, the zoo area. And we're going to get the frat party house, and there is just a thing. So if you just use your chili bomb in there, it will just blow it up and access this garden gnome very easily. So from here, what we're going to do is we are going to head to the next capture point, and we are at this is the last one we have to do. So we actually have to get through the next 2 capture points, and then we will go into the library. So that's that capture point collected, and we're going to go to the next one. And so this is the last hidden golden gnome. Hidden garden gnome that we have to find, golden garden gnome. And what we're going to do is just get this capture point as well, and then just head to the library. So the library actually shows up as a place that you have to go to, so it's a location that shows up in front of you. So as you can see, we're just going to head towards that, and it's just located just on the left down here. On the left. And what we're going to do is we're just going to shoot this button in this bookshelf right there, and that is going to unlock the secret room for the last gnome, the last garden gnome. And there we go, there's the trophy, no more. And that's all we're going to do for this video. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys have now been able to earn this trophy or achievement. And now it's time for me to say see ya, guys and girls, and see you in the next video. Come here, Rose, you're dead. I'm not doing very good at this. I haven't played as this guy since this. Get him! Oh, did we do it? We did it! Oh, we defeated someone as a goat.